Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You. And today you join me at Moorfields Farm Fisheries, just doing a little bit of maggot feeder fishing with a really light setup. And this little browning rod, 8 foot, is an absolute little gem. Nice little F1 to start. Let's get him unhooked and we'll get this back out there. So I'll go into detail when we're a little closer to camera, but in regards to feeders, something a little bit different. Some of you OG supporters of Angling For You have been here for a while. You'll have probably seen that around sort of 3 years ago, maybe a touch more, I actually came up with an idea of making my own inline method maggot feeder. And I know that this was before the old window feedos and stuff were out like that. Might have even been more than 3 years. And I came up with my own way of using a camasan and using a stem from Preston or Guru or whoever. I prefer the Prestons just because I can fit the connector bead underneath. And I've just had, over the years, really good results, and I do fish it quite a lot through the winter months with it like that. With it just being in line, it's easy to cast, no tangles, easy to fill, and all your bait just drops straight in the line. We will look up close just for obviously the people that have not seen it, and then we'll talk a little bit of how easy it is to make it. We'll just get back out there and see if we can get ourselves into another fish. Not the ideals in regards to the rod for this kind of distance. Really the reason I've got this rod is I just want to show that you can fish for not a lot of money, and unfortunately my two other rods, as you know, the Daiwa Air is not a cheap rod, and neither is the End Zone Z. So it'd be a little unfair of me to just say sit on a £15 box and then end up using an extortionate rod and reel. The idea is to use the lower end level gear, with the exclusion of course of my landing net handle, which I've only got that one. And there we go. Wrapped around. I don't think we've got, I think that could have been a huge liner by the feel of it. Yep, looked like a very big liner, did that one, but certainly wrapped the old rest round. Maggots are fine, so to me that definitely is a liner, and there's a lot of fish in this venue. It's a venue, if you live sort of around the Goole area, I'd absolutely recommend you bring in your kids to it. Certainly in the summertime they'll have a fantastic day just fishing it short with a little whip or a little waggler rod. You'll have a ton of fish and have a great time. It's definitely that kind of great little venue to get people started into fishing. And obviously the unfortunate when you use a short rod like this, when you're casting a little bit of distances, you lose accuracy, and this is the casts are quite sporadic, to be honest. But we're lucky that there's quite a lot of fishing in the venue, because the casts are not as accurate as I'd like. Just primarily is the fact of such a short rod, and it's not easy to get that going. But what we're really trying to prove with this sort of setup and this style of fishing is that you just don't have to spend a lot to do it. I mean, we've picked this box up for 15 quid, which had just the little side things and the cushion and all sorts, and you know, we are going to do a challenge with it with the rod and reel and a whip, and we're going to get it all together and a little landing net handle and look at giving all that away. So do keep your eyes peeled in the summer months, and it's going to be aimed at a junior and getting somebody on the bank with the gear. Right guys, into another one. Love a little bend in the old rod. Do love this little mini rod. It's crazy. And when you've got the majority of these fish are small size fish, this kind of little setup is perfect. Just such good fun. It's another little F1. Not seen it yet. Oh, it's a nice F1. Lovely. Lovely job. Might be a little carp actually. Oh, it is a little carp. Lovely. Oh, the hooks come out in the net. I was going to say I'll try and lift him up, but he's trying to soak me twice. So I'll have a go. Easy son, easy son. People only want a little view of you. There we go, lovely fish. Little chubby boy, like myself. Let's get him in. Get back out there, see if there's any more to be had. I'm sure there is. Right guys, we're back unfortunately. I've just videoed an whole 15-20 minute segment with some lovely fish, including an instant win and a nice F1, and I'd not noticed that there were no space on memory card, and I've not recorded any of it, so jackpot. Let's hope we can have some more fish, because we've been having a few nice fish. Like I said, lovely instant win up to nearly half a pound, and then a nice F1. Damn. Oh well. Fingers crossed there's some more fish out there, and we can get into a few more. Week of the devil, we're into one already, that's good. Let's hope we're just pulling back and giving a little bit of an head shake. We have got double red on actually, so there's always the chances of a perch, and apparently there's some decent perch in here. I don't know where this fish is going though. Giving a little head shake, looks like an F1 I think. And these little rods, it's so chronic, it just goes all the way through. It might be a fantail actually. It just action's brilliant, just all the way through. I'll start off with a little carp. That'll do, that's a good start. A little carpy. Trying to soak my feet to death. Here we go. Perfectly hooked in a lip. Not the most attractive fish. Looks like he's got a puckered bumhole of a mouth, so not the most attractive looking one, but lovely condition other than that. I can't help what other people do with him in the net and letting him. He's going to losing his mind, so I'm going to put him in. Can't help if people are not careful with the hooks. You know, not everybody is as trustworthy and Unfortunately, you see plenty of people out there that don't use barbless hooks, or they use too big hooks, or they just rag them in effectively, which is not good for the fish, of course. I want to be trying to look after them as much as possible, and people can enjoy catching them just as much as you do. And it just proves you don't need heavy gear, you don't need expensive gear. And I'll talk through the pricings and what this little rod and reel setup was and why I bought it and what it's for normally when we get into that segment A of the video. Just gonna get this feeder sorted out and back out, and again we'll do the loading of this little feeder up close as well, so you can see that. Alright, let's get back out and see if we can catch an instant win. That's what we want. Bit short that, but like I say, with this short rod, it's not as easy to cast out, unfortunately. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. There's fish on it already, even though it's a good couple of feet shy of where we're meant to be in distance. Right line, not enough power. There we go. And we're in again. They've definitely homed into those maggots now, where they are. I'm just hoping that something will attract slightly bigger fish. There's a good chance when they see the commotion, you do get the bigger fish come in and have a look and see what's going on. Hopefully get this one in, and we'll see if we can have another before we have a look at little F1. Got some fighting in this little one. There we go. And F1, I think it's a small carp. This one it is a small carp. And I'll just unhook him and I'll load him up because he's beautiful. Fin, perfect. I'll hold him over this net. What a beautiful little fish that is. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Let's get him back. Matt's having a little bit of a calamity over the other side. He's bushed himself. I'm just gonna make one. I'm gonna make one cast right before he gets round there. Let's set ourselves a challenge. He's on his way round to the other side. Let's see if we can have a fish before he gets round that other side. Let's go. Right. Let's see. He's about a third of the way around. Let's see if we can beat him. That's the feeder out, bang on the position. Sinky. He's about halfway. He's about halfway around. Sink that line. Let's see if we can have one. It's in a prime position. Still walking around. We're getting indications and we're in. See if we can get it in before he's there. He's nearly there. Oh, it's an instant as well. It's an instant. It's not a full instant. This one looks a bit rough though. It looks a bit of a spawning attacks. So we're not going to hold him up because he's a little bit gag. Let's just get him in and we're sorted. Right boys, let's go and have a look at the rig up in close and see how we're doing it. Right guys, so we've got the equipment in front of us. I have a Carp King Browning F1 wand 8 foot, and that is what I'm using to fish with effectively. It's really light, 2 to 4 pound line is what it expects you to use, which I've got on 4 pound Maxima. I've got a Browning 320 Black Magic, and that's pretty much it in regards to the kit. It's an MSF 320 Black Magic is the real single handle. The action and everything that we need to look at really is around this feeder. So what I'll do is I'm just going to pull a little bit of line off, and I'll get this up to close to camera. You can see what that actually looks like. Let's have a go. So as you can see, it is a Kamasan feeder. Now the feeder itself is just as you would always find them, but they normally have a piece of red sort of plastic cord on there, and it has a swivel on. Now what I do with that is, obviously this is the top of an ICS. Well, let's just slide that out of the way for a minute. Now this stem is what runs through the middle of the feeder, as you would have in any ICM stem. Now at the bottom, what I've done is I've just heated up a baiting needle and just extended that until I could get that through, and I've done the exact same with the top part. You could use a screw like a drill bit and probably do it that way if you wanted to, and then that allows, with a stem on it, it allows you to open it up and slide on everything and close it back up. Just grab the other end, so you could fill all your bait in there, tighten up your line, there we go, and then the cap slips on nice and easy, and on goes the top part just to protect the rig itself, and that's it. The bead underneath is perfect. That holds the normal Preston bead, and then obviously you've got your hook link. Now your hook link itself is an 013. I've not gone crazy. It's size 16 hook, and it is one of the MIDI hooks that I've been using at the moment. Now in regards to loading, it's just like loading any other feeder. Always put your bait on first. In this case it's a double maggot is what I've been catching it. Doesn't matter too much what colour goes with it. I usually keep a red, and then any other colour with it seems to do the job. In regards to loading it, take off these 2 caps, and you got to make sure that they're slack enough that they come off easy, but they're tight enough that they don't pop off. And you can either dig it in to your maggots, dig it into the maggots, or like that and scoop, or you can drop them in over the top. Either works well. I just say that you just push them in to make sure they're in. The cap goes on, just make sure you push on the stem to make sure it's out, and put the top bit on it, and then you're ready to go. Nice and simple. And then obviously the simple part goes, it's a case of getting yourself into position, making an absolute banging cast that you can't see but is absolutely in the perfect position, sinking that line because of all the wind that we've got today, and then laying that rod nicely on a little rest. Now obviously we're doing it with a bank stick. If you've got anything else attached to your rod like I would normally have, that is my preferred way, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it this way as well. The difference that you'll have to think about sometimes if you don't have rods, you don't have boxes where you can attach to, is that you need to look at maybe having little tripods or something to have them on, because you can't always get them into the water or around you as easy. What I would suggest is buying what I've got here, and a very inexpensive, probably about 10 quid, is a super long extendable. So it's probably extends to about 3 meters in length nearly, does this thing. It is quite a long bank stick, and I get that because obviously when I fish on the river sometimes I do like to have that with me to give me a chance of having you know, areas where you need it, and it's not as easy to put the tripod, so sometimes if you've got that with you, it makes it a little easier. There we go, and that didn't take too long, and before it was off. Just another small fish. Was, like I say, this is what we're aiming for today, guys. And it's a small fish. There we go, and it's in the net. It's a little small carp, which is nice. Beautiful little thing. Absolutely fin perfect is that. Just drop that there for a second. Let's see if we can flip them over. I mean, that is what you call carp perfection in miniature. Let's get him back in. And another little thing while we're here, I'll just show you this little mini net. It's a little Match Pro FXT frenzy net, and I picked this up on the bargain bucket the other day. £3, can't go wrong. This kind of fishing, smaller fish or even silver fishing, it's micro mesh, can't really go wrong. It's just an absolute bargain. So what we'll do is we'll put it onto a little bit bigger view, and we'll finish the video off. Right guys, into another. What a weird bite. He's swum back towards me. Might have foul hooked it. Matt just had a little bit of a snaggeroo in the old lily pad, but they are beastly. If you get some of them carp, they'll go straight into those lily pads. What today's uplink is 8-inch around that. Is that a little mirror? Oh no, it's not one of those little perfect silver carp. Beautiful guys, beautiful. Just had one of those a second ago and got another one. Absolutely perfect, hooked beautifully in the corner of the mouth. Look at that, absolutely fin perfection. Get some more bait on there, and it's such good laugh. This good fun, you know, light gear. I just thought, you know, it's nice coming here. Originally we wanted the peg where the guy is over there, but I knew it would have walked round, and I really didn't want to walk my gear round it. I thought, although I've got plans with this box, why not start and do a few sessions with it before, give it a good old test. And even though it's not got attachments and features, it's probably built better than some boxes that are still out now. So even some new ones, I tell you. Okay, there we go. So Matt's back in to make sure I don't push it right this time. That's on the money. Just sinking that line. Quite a bit of ripple on at the moment with that wind. Make sure that that's through all that. Oh, I think that was a liner, but I struck it anyway because it took it off rest. You know what it's like, guys. If it wraps it off a rest, you're gonna strike it, aren't you? You're gonna strike it. It's just how it goes. On with the next set. Push that, and then we're ready to go. Let's get it back out there. went over that bird then. I thought you were going to hit that bird. That bird 3 times I've nearly nailed it. I did it with fishing, trying to mug earlier on with Waggler. Every time I seemed to cast out for a fish, it blooming flew right in front of me. As you all know, my love of birds, I wouldn't be unhooking that if I hooked it, I tell you. That'd be a Jackson job, that. Here we go. Here we go. Nice little bite. Not a big fish, but it definitely feels a little bit better than the other one. You in, Jackson?
Not wow. Not red.
Liners.
Oh yeah. Take that thing and take it off red.
This might be another small little carp. It is. Small little carp. Sometimes it looks like you're playing it for longer than you are, but it takes longer to reel it in because this little reel's only tiny. So it takes a little bit of time to reel in from over there. Ooh, lovely carp. Nice little carpage. About a pound, just over a pound. Come here, lads. Looks nicely in the top lip. See if he'll behave himself. It's got a little bit of ghost. Oh, but a lovely little fish, that. Lovely fish. Get him back in. Yeah, definitely take a few of those. See, just persistently casting, guys, you know, check that bait, good condition. Just persistently casting into that spot with those maggots, you know, just eventually the bigger fish will come, because what happens is they see the commotion, and carp are greedy. They just see that commotion, they come in and they take over. You still catch the odd littler fish when they're fully come in, but as a rule, once they're there. And plus we're just crossing into afternoon now, and they generally start to wake up a little bit later on. The carp, I usually get the littler ones first, and then once the bigger ones are ready, it's usually afternoon time. We fished Candy Corner the other week and they wouldn't play ball at all, and then in the afternoon they were mad. And that's dicing with death again. Little touch again, couple of little touches. There we go. Only a little fish, this one, I think. Yeah. What we got this time? Oh, an F1. And that's the thing, guys, that's the thing. You just don't know. You do not know what you're going to get. Oh, it's a fantail, this one. You don't know what you're going to get every time it goes in. Beautiful. What a fun session fishing. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the old match fishing and things like that, but things gone late, and now things have turned out with the group and Matt leaving and all sorts of stuff, it's just started to think to myself, just do what I like, just enjoy your fishing, don't get caught up in everybody else's bull, and just enjoy what you do. And many moons ago, under another name and another brand, I started this YouTube channel, and it's grown to this 12,000 plus entity we've got now, which is amazing. And you know, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm not going to get dragged into people's negativity, and yeah, that's just past is past. I tell you what, I've got this little cast dialed down now. At first I was struggling a little bit just because of the length of the rod, just finding the right sort of casting angle to let go of the feed. It's already on. And I think that's just come off now. Yeah. But I seem to have get the odd stray one, but I seem to have dialed it in a little bit. Yeah, I'm loving these little maggots. I do like, I mean, you catch them on pellets all day long, but maggots are such a catch everything bait. They're just a nice bait to have with you. And again, on the button. And it's going round before we can even tighten up. They're on it now. They're on it, boys. It's not a big fish, but they're certainly on the bait. That is for sure. And you just don't know what it is. You never know. It's great. Great fun. Unlike tackle. This is a little, this one. It's like a little baby F1. Oh, it's not as a baby. Here it is, yeah. I thought we were a ghosty at first. Oh, he's absolutely had that one. That's a discorder job. That's for sure. There we go. And he's in. What we'll do, boys, is we'll have one cast, one more fish, and see if we can just finish on something nice. Let's see what the fishing gods say. Are we fishing that? Are we going to finish on a small one, or are we going to finish on something a little nicer? Who knows? Don't know if that's got a fish on it, but they were definitely taking it on the drop. That don't think it's got a fish on it. It might have. It has. Oh dear, it's just dropped off. So that means we get another cast. That were literally dropped off in front of the net. The tiniest F1 you've ever seen. Means I get another cast attempt, another attempt at a bigger fish. I don't hold very much hope for anything bigger than what we're catching, as there are so many of them at that size. But we'll have a go. See if we can actually put the rod in and get it straight before it starts going off the rest. Already tapped on it. And there we go. It's off. Great fishing. And this is what I was saying to you guys about bringing your kids. It's just a great place for bringing your kids, you know. Lovely little fish. What are we ending on? An F1 by the look of it. There we go. Lovely little F1. Give me that hook back, a tiny little hook. Get him back in. Well, hopefully showed you something a little bit different in regards to the feeder itself, but again, just reiterating that you don't need big money to enjoy yourself. The rod and reel, I didn't say actually, is around 60 quid all in, maybe a touch more, but you know, you can get various little packages that are nice and cheap. I do like them because they bend all the way through, which is really good for when you got little ones as well, because it's not just pulling at the tip, it's got the old rod, which makes it more forgiving. So if you want to look at anything else on this playlist, join us at Angling For You on the YouTube, and if you want to come onto the group, ask questions, post your photos, Angling For You on Facebook, or Angling For You buy and sell if you want to sell anything. And if you want to just see what we're up to, go on Instagram at angling_for you. If you can like, share and subscribe, join the Angling For You family, that'd be superb. Until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Tight lines.